I like to eat good food. Now, I know looking at me, you think, well, if he likes to eat good food, why isn't there more of him? I didn't say I eat a lot of food. I said I like to eat good food. Ever since COVID started, Charity Workman has supplied me with fresh baked loaves of sourdough bread. Fresh bread makes me smile. Almost every Sunday, Donna Hayward brings amazing desserts and pastries, and between services, I recharge with Donna's delights. Last week, I had so many 2028 ate with me, and we still had leftover. Once a month, Cindy and I started something new with another couple, and we try a new restaurant. Now, we have rules. First, no one can have eaten there before. It has to be new to all of us. Second, we order at least 4 desserts, usually all the desserts, and we all sample them. We eat an unhurried meal, usually staying at the table for a couple hours, laughing, talking, comparing notes on the food. We just enjoy time together at the table. And then after eating, each of us rate the experience from 1 to 10, the food, the service, everything. And so far, the top restaurant, total amount of points you can get is 40. The top restaurant got 35.5 points. The worst got 15.5. And no, I'm not going to tell you which one is the worst, because as soon as I do, somebody's cousin works there, your uncle owns it, or something like that. I will tell you the best so far. The top restaurant was Cypress Social. Really good. Have you eaten there yet? No? All right. Well, I'm going to bless somebody who hasn't eaten there yet with the $75 gift card to Cypress Social. And this is way too much pressure for me to make the decision, because I want everyone to like me. But I don't care if you like Pastor Gary or not. So, Pastor Gary, would you pick somebody
Absolutely
to go eat at Cypress Social? There you go. Enjoy it. In my family growing up, we didn't eat out much. It was a treat if we did. Maybe we ate out once a week, but we couldn't afford that. That was a luxury in those days. We ate at home every evening. We didn't have cell phones or iPads. The TV was shut off. No one was allowed to answer the phone during dinner. It was a time to be together. We sat around the table. We did something crazy. We actually talked to each other. We weren't texting each other or other people, because texting didn't exist. We talked to each other. It was a special place for our family, and I still have wonderful memories from the family dinner table. When our sons, Tyler and Parker, were growing up, we had family night every Monday. And over the years, different people joined us. Sometimes there was as many as 20, 25, 30 people at family night. And we sat around the table, we talked, and we just enjoyed being together. In recent years, the term common space has become familiar in building and architecture. Common space is a place to build community, spend time together. It's a table, a place to gather, eat, talk, make new friends, renew old friendships. For the last 15 months, the table has been restricted because of COVID. Eating with people outside your family all of a sudden became risky. People, including many of you, isolated. New friendships weren't formed. Old friendships fell away. At First NLR, we love to eat. It's almost scary how much you people eat. It was really strange not having meals together as a class, as a staff, and ministry teams. It's time to eat together again. I thought I'd get a lot more amens from that. But it's because you're not hungry enough. When I get that 11:30 service, they're starving. It's easy to get used to being by yourself or just with your family or your safe friend group, but it's not healthy. We need each other. We're designed for relationship, to be together, to build community. Much of that happens around a table. That's why on Monday night we have no church activities. Take advantage of that night to eat together, spend time with your family. Use the family devotions to talk about what your kids learned over the weekend. Enjoy coffee together in the coffee lobby now that coffee is back. I don't like coffee, but I enjoy being together and building relationships. Go out to eat. Spend time with other people. Make new friends. Enlarge your circle. Invite someone to join you who isn't like you. If there's someone around you that you see every week but you don't know, invite them to eat lunch with you. The worst that can happen is you sit at a table and stare at each other for an hour. The best that can happen is you can make a new life-giving friend. In Scripture, the table is also a special place. In this series, we're going to look at meaningful tables in the Bible. And my goal in prayer is three things. Number one, that a simple, ordinary piece of furniture will remind you of God's promises and truths. Number two, that you will discover your place at the table. And number three, that you will invite others to join you at the table. Maybe even people you've never considered having at a table with you before. We begin with one of the most well-known tables in all of Scripture because it's found in the middle of what might be the best-known chapter in the Bible, the 23rd Psalm. This psalm is on greeting cards, rugs, pictures, paintings. It's framed and hung on the hospital walls. The words are put to music in countless songs. You see it read at funerals, printed on programs, heard in movie and TV funeral scenes. These words have brought comfort to the dying, hope to the hopeless, and strength to the weak. Other individual Bible verses might be more recognizable, but more people can quote this chapter than any other. I put the whole chapter in your outline. I want you to get it out. And right at the top, and we're going to read it out loud together. I'll kind of pick the pace we read, because if everybody reads at their own pace, it'll just be chaos. So let's pick my pace and let's read it together. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Most scholars believe David wrote the 23rd Psalm. Before he was king, David was a shepherd. It's only natural that he applied the lessons he learned from long nights and lonely days caring for his flock to relationships with people and relationships with God. The whole 23rd Psalm is powerful. Today I want to focus specifically on verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. The dictionary definition of an enemy is a person who feels hatred for, fosters harmful design against, or engages in antagonistic activities against another, an adversary or an opponent. We love to sit together at the table and enjoy friendships, but the presence of an enemy can ruin a good meal. You sit down with your friends, you're hanging out, you're happy, and then you look across the restaurant and your eye catches the eye of an enemy, and suddenly you just want to get out of there as fast as you can. And you sure don't invite them to sit at your table. But some of you are forced to sit at a table with your enemy in the break room, at work, at a conference table in negotiations, maybe even at a family dinner or family reunion. No one wants to sit at a table with their enemies. Do you have an enemy? Someone it seems like they're just trying to make you miserable or cause harm? If you're a student, you might think of a cruel bully. Some of you students are bullied at school. You dread walking down the hall and seeing your enemy. I understand. It's been years since I was in school, but I still remember bullies. I remember their names, their faces. I remember the words. It's not just students who face bullies. You may have a bullying boss who leads with threats and intimidations. Others of you, your enemy may be an ex-spouse who continually stirs up trouble. They try to turn your kids against you. They take you back to court. They tell lies. They might even be trying to take your kids from you. Maybe your kid is friends with someone who constantly tempts them to do wrong. That person is an enemy of your child and their future. Others of you, your enemy might not be a person. It might be a habit or a thing. If you were once an alcoholic, you've declared war on alcohol. It's your enemy. You wisely fear going anywhere near it. Could be something that seems completely out of your control. Anxiety, depression, bad thoughts pop up at unexpected times, and you wake up and you wonder, will today be another bad day? In war, the enemy's fairly easy to identify. They're wearing the other uniform. But in real life, enemies don't wear uniforms. If you're a follower of Jesus, we share a common enemy, Satan. 1 Peter 5:8 describes our enemy. Be self-controlled and alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. A lion's the most feared creature in nature. They are at the very top of nature's food chain. There is no animal that hunts lions. I've watched lions hunt in Africa. They're sneaky. They're stealthy. Their brown coat blends into the tall grass as they slowly stalk their prey. And then suddenly, seeming out of nowhere, the lion pounces. The only chance for its target is if it sees the lion before it attacks and it can run faster than the lion. Now, just in case one day you're like walking the trails down by the river and a lion pops out at you, I wanted to give you some helpful advice, so kind of tune back in if you tune me out, because this could save your life. I found this online, how to survive a lion attack. Ready? This is so easy. It is vital to stand your ground, perhaps retreating very slowly, but to continue facing the lion while clapping your hands, shouting, and waving your arms around to make yourself look bigger. So I have this picture. You're slowly inching away going, woo, woo. And then these comforting words. Most charges are mock charges, so you will usually be fine. The words that bother me most there are most and usually. And then it finishes with this, remember, hold your ground, never run or turn your back. That sounds easy, but when faced with a fierce predator, it's incredibly difficult to slowly, carefully face the enemy and walk away. Your natural instinct is to run. It's sure not to sit down at a table and eat a meal. David didn't write, you make me unafraid of my enemies, or you make me stronger than my enemies, or you make my enemies disappear. He wrote, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Maybe because I've spent a lot of time in Africa, when I read this verse, what I think of is a portable safari table. Cindy and I have traveled with our missionaries, Scott and Karen Hansen, all over Tanzania and Kenya. Often in the late afternoon, after a long day of driving, we stop in the middle of a high plateau and we take out a small table, kind of like this. We drink a bottle of cold water, or if you grew up in Africa, or you're Cindy, in the middle of the 100-degree hot day, you get out a thermos and you drink hot tea. That's the British influence in Africa. They were raised that way. You always have tea in the afternoon. Doesn't matter if it's 123 degrees, you're drinking hot tea. Or if you're Cindy and apparently you're fascinated with the royals and you want to be British. And sitting at the table, I've often wondered how many dangerous animals are hiding in the grass around us. But we're close to the truck, and the animals can't differentiate between us and the truck. The truck seems huge, so they don't attack and eat us, for which I'm very grateful. We drink tea, and we eat cookies, tasteless cookies, the worst things you've ever eaten. Dry, crumble in your mouth, taste like dirt cookies because that's what Brits eat. And we want to act like royalty. So we eat things and we pretend we like it, even though we absolutely hate it. And there's no possible way that anyone could enjoy eating those cookies. The queen herself can't like those cookies. Sorry. We all do all that without anxiety or fear. Even in the presence of danger, we're safe, secure, and protected at the table. David wrote, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." In reading the verse, here's what I've always pictured. I'm surrounded by enemies who are out to get me. Satan, his demons, people who work to further his purpose have me in their sight. But I'm not worried. In fact, I'm in the middle of them, sitting at a table. Surrounded by my enemies, God prepares a huge meal for me. I like the mental picture of eating a huge meal with my favorite foods while my enemies, who are probably really hungry, have to stand there and watch. I imagine myself slowly eating, holding a fork full of Cindy's lasagna so they can see how much I'm enjoying myself. When I get to dessert, I don't just have one brownie with icing. I have 10 brownies with icing. I have a table full. I'm not eating those horrible brick cookies. I'm eating a real dessert. And my hungry enemies watch as I'm completely satisfied and completely filled. That's what I've always thought that meant. That's a good picture. Nothing wrong with that. Might even be what David was talking about. But there's another possibility. I want to explain the meaning of this verse in terms of shepherding. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. When he used the word table, it's possible what David had in mind was tableland, an elevated, fairly level region, what we would call a plateau, perfect place for sheep to graze in the summertime. When the tablelands, the summer feeding grounds, were bought or leased, they weren't in ready condition. Rocks had to be removed, trees cleared, weeds pulled by hand. Sheep are highly allergic to some plants. All those had to be removed. Poisonous plants had to be identified and pulled by hand. Bare patches had to be seeded. Holes had to be filled. Preparing the tableland for the sheep was a long, hard, difficult job. In addition, tablelands were remote pastures, far from population centers. Predators were everywhere. The shepherd had to watch out for wolves, coyotes, bears. As if that wasn't enough, the shepherd also had to be concerned about the adder, a small brown snake that lives underground. They were known to pop out of their holes and bite sheep on the nose while they were feeding. And that bite caused infection, sometimes death. As a defense against the snake, the shepherd carefully searched the field and poured a circle of oil around each adder hole, and the oil prevented the snake from coming out. If the shepherd missed one hole, it could cost a sheep its life. After clearing the field, planting grass, pulling weeds, getting rid of poisonous plants, treating every adder hole, scouting for predators, it was then and only then that the tableland was ready for the sheep to come and graze. The shepherd prepared the table for the sheep. And when the sheep arrived at the tableland, they had no idea what the shepherd had done before their arrival. They didn't worry about snakes and wolves and coyotes. They didn't know about the poison they were protected from. All they saw was a safe place, fully prepared and ready for them to eat. And you know what? Maybe my picture of eating at a table wasn't so wrong after all. I like that picture. Me sitting at a table, eating food while my enemies watch. And all the while, God is providing for, and he's watching over me. Jesus, your good shepherd, does for you what the shepherd does for the flock. He deals with the enemy. He prepares your way, and he provides a safe place. On your own, you're helpless and defenseless. But Jesus keeps you safe. You have no idea How many times you've been protected from enemies that God dealt with in advance? They were out to get you. God took care of it before they ever could. You never even saw them or knew they were there. You have no idea what bad things God has prevented from happening to you. You just enjoy the blessings that God provides. The Lord protects you from enemies and harm, and he positions you for blessing. Your good shepherd prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Oh, there may be enemies all around. They're still there, but they're not at the table with you. They're kept away by the good shepherd. And here's the great thing. There's room for you at the table. You don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in fear of what tomorrow holds. You don't have to live in fear of going back to school and people picking on you again. You don't have to live in fear of your kids staying with your ex. You don't have to be filled with dread. You don't have to wake up every day wondering what bad thing's going to happen next. You don't have to fear your boss. You don't have to fear a confrontation with your neighbors. You don't have to fear the racist, prejudiced bigot who makes your life miserable. The Lord not only protects you from harm and keeps the enemy from destroying you, he prepares a table. A safe place for you in the presence of your enemies. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In the midst of the chaos and the confusion and the anger and the fear, you have a safe place. A table prepared for you, the presence of the Lord. And when fear pops up, you just come to the table. Jesus, thank you. Thank you that you go before us. You don't promise we'll never have an enemy. Instead, the promise is a safe place in the presence of the enemies, where we're protected from harm, where we don't have to live in fear, because you go before us and behind us, and you surround us with your presence. In the middle of all the stuff that's going on, we can be safe at your table. And in the place of worry and dread, we can have peace. Instead of fear, we can just have that sweet comfort that comes from knowing we're with you, that we're together, we're safe at the table. Lord, I pray for people in this room, and I pray for people watching online who today really need that safe place. Lord, so we come to the table that you prepare for us. I pray, Lord, right now for there just to be a sense, almost just like a deep breath and letting it out. And the presence of the Lord is here. Surround us, Lord, with your presence. And cover us with your peace. In Jesus' name. Lord, thank you. Thank you that there's a place for us at your table. Thank you that fear doesn't have a place at your table. But we're safe and protected by you. keep your eyes closed and just be refreshed and protected today at the table of the Lord.
Peace, wonderful peace, coming down from the Father above. Sweep over my spirit forever, I pray, in fathomless billow of love. Peace, peace, wonderful peace, coming down from the Father above. Sweep over my spirit forever, I pray, in fathomless billows of love. And I just wanna be where you are. I just wanna be near your heart. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. I just wanna be where you are. I just wanna be near your heart. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your